Welcome to the video where I will show you the top 10 most interesting places in the Czech Republic. As a tourist you should definitely not miss them. Get ready to discover dozens of fascinating places that make up the heart and soul of this beautiful country. From historical pearls to natural gems, this top 10 will show you why the Czech landscape is so unique. Stay with us and get ready for an unforgettable journey through a landscape rich in surprises and fairy tale atmosphere. Top 10. Telč. A town with a rich history and unique architecture and a place that is the best example of Czech Renaissance beauty. Join us on a tour of this picturesque town, which prides itself on its character and uniqueness. Zachariah-Hradec Square and Zacharias Column. The square in Telč, built in the 16th century, is a unique example of Renaissance urban planning. Each house in the square has a unique facade, which creates a harmonious whole. The Zacharias Column, located in the square, served to commemorate the nobleman Zacharias of Hradec and as a symbol of protection against fires. Telč Castle. The UNESCO-listed Telč Castle was built in the Gothic style and later rebuilt in the Renaissance style. The interiors of the castle show visitors the wealth and taste of noble life. The extensive gardens add to the charm of the entire complex and are a pleasant place to relax. Last but not least, they offer a beautiful view of the castle. St. James Church. The Church of St. James, originally Gothic, was enlarged in Renaissance style. Its history dates back to the 14th century, and it served as a burial place for the family of Zacharias of Hradec. The church is famous for its frescoes, altar and chapels. The burial ground around the church commemorates important figures from the history of Telč. Top 9. Bohemian Paradise. One of the most beautiful parts of the Czech Republic. This region offers breathtaking scenery, sandstone cliffs and picturesque forests. Join us on a journey to discover the natural charm of this unique place. Bohemian Paradise is a national park created in the 1950s. Prachovsk and Ryboskalsko. Prachovsk and Ryboskalsko are rock formations that have fascinated visitors for centuries. The Prachovsk rocks offer picturesque views of the wooded landscape. Ryboskalsko, with its distinctive rock towers, has been the inspiration for many fairy tales and legends. Trotsky Castle and Wallenstein Castle. Dating back to the 13th century, Wallenstein Castle is one of the oldest castles in the Bohemian Paradise. It offers beautiful views offering a glimpse into the history and times of the knights. The ruins, two ruined castles, create a distinctive silhouette in the landscape. The ruins are a popular place for hikers and climbers. Pravská Brana and Hruba Skala. Pravská Brana, the largest sandstone gate in Central Europe, was declared a natural monument in the 19th century. It is literally a natural wonder that attracts photographers from all over the world. Hruba Skala is a rock ridge with historical monuments. With its stone towers and romantic views, it allows you to immerse yourself in the atmosphere of past centuries. Boskov Dolomite Caves. The Boskov Dolomite Caves are a unique geological formation that was formed millions of years ago. They were discovered by accident in 1940. The caves will amaze you with their beauty of stalactites and stalagmites. A guided tour will reveal the secrets of this underground kingdom and its historical development. Malaskala and Turnov. Malaskala is a picturesque village with a history dating back to the 14th century. With its popular river bathing area, it is an ideal place for relaxation. Turnov is the gateway to the Bohemian Paradise and a town rich in the traditions of glassmaking and jewelry making. There is also a museum of jewelry which presents the richness of regional crafts and traditional Czech culture. Top 8. Český Krumlov. The jewel of the South Bohemian Forest. This picturesque town with a rich history and impressive architecture will draw you into its fairy tale setting. Join us on a tour of this unique place where history, culture and unique atmosphere meet. Český Krumlov Castle and Gardens. Český Krumlov was founded in the 13th century. It is known for its charming historical atmosphere. The castle is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and was home to Czech noblemen such as the Rosemarks. The castle is surrounded by beautiful gardens that are worth a visit. The Šumava Lookout Towers, Klid and Vitex Castle. The surroundings of Český Krumlov are surrounded by beautiful nature. Klid, the highest mountain in Šumava, and Vítkovradec, a pilgrimage site, are wonderful places for nature and history lovers. The Klid's Lookout Tower offers a panoramic view of the Czech and Austrian mountains. Vítkovradec, originally a hunting lodge, surprises with its atmosphere and proximity to nature. The Vltava and the Elbe River. The Vltava, which flows around Český Krumlov, was an important trade channel in the past. The local river contributes to the romantic atmosphere of the town. A cruise on the Elbe offers a unique view of the town from the water. The historic water mills and picturesque houses will take you back to a time when the Vltava was vital to the people of Český Krumlov. Egon Schiele Art Center. Egon Schiele was a famous Austrian painter who spent part of his life in Český Krumlov. His art and legacy are captured today in the Egon Schiele Art Center. The center not only presents Schiele's paintings, but also hosts temporary exhibitions and cultural events. It is an unforgettable stop for lovers of modern art. Eggenberg Brewery. The Eggenberg Brewery, founded in the 15th century, is part of the rich brewing tradition of Český Krumlov. The brewery was restored in the 19th century and still produces traditional beers today. A tour of the brewery will give you an insight into the history of Czech brewing. After the tour, you can enjoy great beer in local pubs where you can feel the presence of history at every sip. Top 7, Kutná Hora. A picturesque town that is not only a witness to a rich history, but also one of the most important medieval centers of silver mining. Join us for a tour of this fascinating place where history and architecture meet. Sedlec Ossuary. Founded in the 13th century, the Sedlec Ossuary is a unique place. Over time, it became a sacred place for the bones to be laid to rest, and a skeletal tower with a unique architectural design was created. Inside the ossuary you will find a number of works of art created from the bones. The most impressive are the towers of the Skeleton Tower, where the skulls are arranged in geometric shapes. The Church of St. Barbara and the Church of the Assumption. St. Barbara's Church, built in the Gothic style of architecture, was built in the 14th century and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is considered the pinnacle of Gothic art in Bohemia. Its high towers dominate the city. The Church of the Assumption, with its unique fresco decoration, dates from the same period. The frescoes in the Church of the Assumption tell biblical stories and are considered a unique work of art. Silver mines. Kutná Hora became one of the most important centers of silver mining in the Middle Ages. Silver traveled from here to the whole of Europe. The mines were closed in the 16th century. A tour of the silver mines will take you underground where miners worked for centuries. Stories of the wealth and skill of medieval miners come to life in these historic spaces. Italian Court and Stone House. The Italian Court, built in Renaissance style in the 16th century, served as the residence of Italian silver merchants. It is known for its arcaded loggia and Renaissance details. The Stone House, a magnificent Gothic building, is another example of historic architecture. It has a richly decorated facade, reminiscent of the times when Kutná Hora was an economic center. Top 6, Terezín. A place where history and art meet. This site, originally built as a military fortress, gained tragic fame during World War II as a concentration camp. Join us to understand the depth of the story and the significance of this monument. The Little Fortress and the Great Fortress. Originally built as a military fortress, Terezín was later used as a concentration camp during World War II. The small fortress was used as a prison, while the Great Fortress had a military character. The small fortress is a symbol of the horrors of the Holocaust. The Great Fortress commemorates military history and serves as a memorial to the victims of totalitarian regimes. The Terezín Memorial and the National Cemetery. The Terezín Memorial was established to preserve the memory of the victims of the Holocaust. The memorial contains exhibitions documenting life in 3 parts of the camp complex. The National Cemetery serves as the final resting place for many of the camp's deceased. It is decorated with memorial crosses and symbolizes the tragedy of human lives. Ghetto and Terezín Museum. The ghetto, originally the headquarters of the Jewish administration in the ghetto, is now dedicated to the artistic work in the camp. The Ghetto Muse represents the power of art in difficult circumstances. The Terezín Museum collects documents and artifacts from the Holocaust era. It serves to educate about the horrors of the Holocaust and the history of ghetto life. Top 5, Olomouc. The Pearl of Hanak culture. This historic town boasts a rich history and cultural heritage. Join us for a tour of key sites that will reveal the charm and uniqueness of Olomouc. Upper Square and the Holy Trinity Column. The Upper Square, surrounded by Baroque houses, is the heart of Olomouc's historic center. Each house in the Upper Square has its own history and architectural details. The UNESCO-listed Holy Trinity Column was built to protect the city from a plague epidemic. It is a highlight of Baroque art and symbolizes the fight against the plague. St. Nicholas and Street. Wenceslas Cathedral. The Church of St. Nicholas, built in the early Gothic style, and the Cathedral of St. Wenceslas, a landmark of the Olomouc skyline, are important sacral buildings of the city. The Church of St. Nicholas represents Gothic architecture with rich interior decoration. St. Wenceslas Cathedral is famous for its tower height and impressive interior. The castle in the water ditch. Olomouc was surrounded by massive walls and a moat that served to protect the city. Remains of the walls are still preserved and remind us of the rich history. A walk along the castle road offers a view of the historical part of the city. The moat, once filled with water, is an example of medieval defensive architecture. Archbishop's Palace and Gardens. The Archbishop's Palace, the seat of the Archbishops of Olomouc, dates back to the 13th century. The Archbishop's Palace combines elements of Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque. The gardens of the palace served as a relaxing and representative space. It offers a peaceful space with views of the city and the cathedral. Lower Square and Marian Column. Lower Square, with its colorful historic houses, is another important space in Olomouc. The houses in the Lower Square carry a rich history and are evidence of the changes in the city over the centuries. The Marian Column, located in the Lower Square, is decorated with statues of saints. It represents Baroque art and is a popular meeting place for residents and visitors. Top 4, Brno. The pulsating heart of Moravia. This city, the second largest in the Czech Republic, carries a wealth of history and modern energy. Since its foundation in the 13th century, Brno has developed into an important cultural and economic center. Today we bring you a glimpse of this metropolis that combines the past with the future and attracts visitors with its diversity and life. Spilberg. Originally built in the 13th century, Spilberg Castle served as a fortress, barracks and prison. It was an important strategic point throughout its history. Today you can visit the museum at Spilberg and explore the exhibitions dedicated to the history of the fortress and prison. The castle tower offers a view of the Brno skyline. Villa Tugendhat. The functionalist Villa Tugendhat was built in 1928 to 1930. It is considered one of the masterpieces of modern architecture. The villa is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is open to the public. Visitors can admire the original design, innovative features and interesting history of the villa. The Cathedral of Saints Peter and Paul. The cathedral is the most important Gothic church in Brno. Its construction began in the 14th century. The cathedral is known for its Gothic and Baroque elements. Visitors can admire the interior, including the altars and beautiful stained glass windows. Moravian Gallery. The Moravian Gallery was founded in 1961 and is one of the leading galleries in the Czech Republic. The gallery hosts a rich collection of Czech art, from the Middle Ages to the present. In the exhibitions you will find works by prominent Czech artists from the past to the present. Green Market. Zlín Trh, historically the center of commercial and social life, has existed since the Middle Ages. This market is now a place where various events and fairs are held. Here you will also find the charming Parnas fountain and many cafes and shops. Top 3, Karlovy Vary. Spa paradise and cultural jewel of the Czech Republic. This picturesque town boasts its healing springs, Belle Epoque architecture and rich history. Join us for a tour of this spa resort with unique charm. Spa Colonnade and Springs. Founded in the 14th century, Karlovy Vary gained worldwide fame for its healing springs. The Spa Colonnade, built in the 18th century, is a symbol of the spa town. A visit to springs such as Vridlo, with a temperature of 73 degrees Celsius, is an unforgettable experience. Each spring has its own specific health effects, which attracts visitors from all over the world. Spring Colonnade and Hotel Imperial. The Hot Spring Colonnade, one of the most famous in Karlovy Vary, was built in the 19th century. It is an ideal place to taste the water directly from the spring. The Hotel Imperial, a luxury spa complex, has become an icon of luxury over the years. It impresses with its historic luxury and has hosted notable personalities such as Tsar Nicholas II and Winston Churchill. Castle Hill and Wooden Colonnade. Castle Hill, with its imposing castle, offers a panoramic view of the city. It hosts a summer film festival that attracts film enthusiasts. The Wooden Colonnade, built in the Art Nouveau style, is an example of architectural elegance. It is an ideal place to relax and watch the life of the city. Jan Becker Museum. The Jan Becker Museum traces the history of the production of Becherovka, the famous herbal liqueur. Becherovka, created in the 19th century, is one of the city's most famous products. A visit to the museum will reveal the secrets of Becherovka production. Tasting this unique drink will allow you to taste the secret of the recipe that has been guarded for generations. Top 2, Karlsruhe. An imposing castle on a rock outcropping that proudly guards Czech history. Join us on a journey to discover the mystery of this castle, which has become the symbolic crown of the Czech lands. Karlsruhe Castle, the Great Palace and the Small Palace. Built in the 14th century by Emperor Charles IV, Karlsruhe Castle served as the coronation treasury and repository of holy relics. The Great Palace served representative purposes, while the Small Palace was the living quarters for the royal family. The interiors of the castle contain unique collections of artworks and relics. The Great Palace with the Chapel of the Holy Relics creates an atmosphere of mysticism and historical significance. The Royal Picture Gallery and the Chapel of the Holy Cross. The Royal Picture Gallery, located in the castle courtyard, contains valuable art collections. The Chapel of the Holy Cross, part of the castle complex, served as a place of personal prayer. The picture gallery contains works by famous masters such as the Master of the Cheban altar. The Chapel of the Holy Cross is famous for its frescoes and atmosphere of humility. The Castle Lookout Tower and the Castle Tower. The lookout tower at the castle was built in the 19th century for tourists seeking views of the surrounding countryside. The Castle Tower, part of the original castle, was used to keep an eye on the surrounding area. With its Gothic architecture, it is one of the most characteristic features of the castle. The lookout tower offers panoramic views of the surrounding hills and valleys. Top 1, Prague. A city located in the heart of Central Europe. This magical city, rich in history and culture, will enchant you with its architecture, sights and unique charm. Join us on a tour of this metropolis where past meets present. Old Town Square. The roots of Old Town Square go back to the 12th century. It has always been the historical center of Prague and a place of markets, festivals, but also tragic events such as the execution of Czech nobles after the tragic events on the White Mountain in 1620. This event is still marked by crosses on the ground behind the town hall. The square is also decorated with the world-famous Prague astronomical clock, which is over 600 years old. Every hour it captivates tourists with its moving spectacle. The astronomical clock shows not only the time, but also astronomical data, the position of the planets, the seasons and holidays. Charles Bridge. Take a walk across Charles Bridge, a historic bridge that has connected the old town to the lesser town since the 14th century. It is named after the prominent Czech King Charles IV, who is, among other things, the founder of Prague's Charles University. The bridge is decorated with 30 historical statues. Among others, there is also a statue of Jan Nepomucki. According to legend, touching this statue will ensure that you will return to Prague again. Prague Castle. Prague Castle has been the seat of Czech kings since the 9th century. It is the largest castle complex in the world. In addition to the historic palaces, you will also find St. Vitus Cathedral, which houses the Czech crown jewels. There is also a golden alley where the alchemists who worked in the castle lived. Patron Lookout Tower. It was built in 1891 on the occasion of the Jubilee exhibition. It found its inspiration in the Eiffel Tower. The view of the whole of Prague is well worth it. You can take a cable car up to Patron and, in addition to the lookout tower, you will also find, for example, a mirror maze. Wenceslas Square. Wenceslas Square has existed since the 14th century. It is now a center of commerce and culture, but it has had an important place in the history of the Czech Republic. The Prague Spring of 1968 and the Velvet Revolution of 1989 took place here. At the top of the square you will find a statue of Saint Wenceslas on horseback, who is the patron saint of the Czech nation. He is a symbol of bravery and national heroism. Thank you for spending time on my journey through the Czech countryside, discovering 10 unforgettable places. I hope you enjoyed seeing the beauty and richness this country has to offer. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your impressions and tips on other topics in the comments. Leaving a like will also make me happy. I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.